Alright, guys, so basketball season starts in about less than 24 hours, a little bit more. And for the UCLA Bruins, we're a basketball school, but, this year might be considering a down year on paper. A lot of things this season, just a lot of rebuilding. Last year's win against Virginia Commonwealth or VCU last year was the last hurrah for all the people left of that Final Four teams. Collison, Ship, Aboya, we said goodbye to them with that win, and then Villanova kicked us in the end. It's going to be a lot of rebuilding coming up for the next year or two, and we'll see what happens. You know, I encourage all fans, to like one school. Don't be liking one team sport and another. For example, like you follow Duke basketball and Texas football. Don't do that, okay? And just stick with your, school. Please stand by it. I mean, I am a UCLA football, UCLA basketball, UCLA water polo. I follow everything. If for those of you who didn't know that, I pay attention to pretty much all the programs at UCLA. On a side note, the soccer team is doing well. So both the men and women's soccer teams are playing well out there. So hopefully they can keep on doing what they're doing in the postseason. Anyways, back to the roster though. In this season, we should expect a lot of rebuilding, and let's be honest here, we lost everyone. Last season was so mediocre, even though we had some people like Darren Collison and Josh Shipp. That was a rough season because we lost more than Kevin Love. We lost Luke Richard Mbamute, and then Russell Westbrook. Those were the other two guys who we lost. And 08 was so bad that year. But now we lost pretty much everyone from that Final Four era, with the exception of James Keefe and Michael Roll, who's been on he was on all the teams that made the Final Four. He was, I think, medical redshirted for 1 year. But he's the last guy left of the Final Four teams, and if not Nikola Dragovic. So I don't know our starting five yet, but I do know we've pulled in good recruiting classes. And down the line we saw some of them in action. Drew Gordon, he's a local guy, San Jose Bay Area native, and he played some good defense when he showed signs of spark. Wish he was able to shoot the line better, but he looked good defensively. Also have Malcolm Lee. He had some playing time. Jeremy Anderson got playing time. There's some solid play from there. Drew Holiday was a major disappointment, but I guess it's the system that didn't fit last year, as he's now in the NBA with the Philadelphia 76ers, I think. Some of the other guys we have still remaining is James Keefe, who is a role player. I mean, there's been a lot of injuries, but and also the guy, I was looking forward to Jamison Morgan, or Bobo, as they call him down there. I think yes, that's his nickname. Jamison Morgan. I was hoping he'll make some impact, and he was like overweight last time. Maybe that's why he played very little last season. But I hope to see more out of him because we need a big man down low, and he's supposed to fill that need. On the other half, some of the new guys we got coming in. Mike Moser, he came in from Arizona. Got lucky that Arizona, he switched schools there. We also have we have Reeves Nelson, who had a lot of hype coming out. He made a really early commitment during his junior year of high school, his junior year of high school. Then there's Tyler Honeycutt and Brendan Lane, who both have shooting strokes, and they got hype. As well as Anthony Stover. He's the guy that provides size and depth. So we have all the talent on paper, but we'll see if they go through growing pains or not. People that are still remembered as Michael Roll, as I said before, he was our three-point specialist, still is today. It's really just a pain to see all the injuries that are on the roster right now. Michael Roll sprained his ankle, Jamison Morgan's been injured, Jeremy Anderson, Malcolm Lee, Brendan Lane, they've all been pretty injured at times. But let's hope that we can avoid these injuries, maybe just get a few signature wins this season and make the tournament. That's the goal I have for this team. Ben Howland has done enough to show that he's good, and it takes time to develop a team. A lot of these guys are young, a lot of sophomores and freshmen outside of Michael Roll and James Keefe. maybe that everyone else is really a role player. See, Nikola Dragovic, forgot about him, another three-point guy, but he's a role player. So we don't know an exact star on this team yet, but we do know is that this is a on paper rebuilding year, as this is Cal and Washington's year to make noise in the Pac-10. Also, Oregon State is expected to be on the rise. Craig Robinson developed a good team last year, despite the record. They definitely will make noise this year. The guy who's on the biggest hot seat is Ernie Kent out at Oregon, and that team has a load of talent. Once again, got all the recruits, but they all were freshmen last year. We'll see if those guys can make noise. Also, Stanford is young. Arizona is young, even though Nick Wise is still there. Arizona State lost a lot of key people outside of James Harden. Washington State, you never know what could happen up in the Palouse. But yeah, USC, we know what happened to them, as they lost everyone, whether it's Daniel Hackett or Taj Gibson, or even some of the recruits like Noel Johnson. They lost a lot of key guys, and it'll be a lot of rebuilding for them. But this may be a down year, but we still got to play hard, make the tournament, and I'll be happy. Just at least show some signs of life in this rebuilding year. I'll be making videos when the Pac-10 part of the season rolls around in January. But until then, go Bruins. And as the basketball symbol sure in the back, you can't read it, but it says life begins when the season starts. It starts on Wednesday, so go Bruins, and I'll see you guys a little later with UCLA versus Washington preview in football.